So the Pittsburgh Steelers were just connected to an absolute stud wide receiver, and I'm going to just get to it. The Steelers are figuring out a price to get Deebo Samuel on their team, gauging what his value is. I mean, tons of connections made to the 49ers with Brandon Ayuk last offseason. Didn't happen, but by all accounts, it's pretty good for the Steelers that it didn't. That was just a train wreck in San Francisco last year. We're not even sure if Ayuk is going to be ready for the regular season. Deebo Samuel, he's a different dude, though. Kind of just feels like a Steeler to me. And I just want to introduce this channel. If you're new here, this is Sports Talk Steelers. I'm your host, Sean. I'm part of a Sports Talk family, and we absolutely love covering the NFL. We're expanding to other teams. I'm primarily a Bears guy, but when Justin Fields came to Pittsburgh, super intrigued. I want to give you guys impartial coverage of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So join us. Hit the subscribe button. So let's keep going. The 29-year-old, right? He's no longer at the top of his game, but the guy's a Swiss Army knife. He's got the skill set that should fit anywhere, just dynamic, versatile, can run the ball, can catch the ball. It's just hard to imagine that he would not be a huge impact, that he wouldn't really fit in with this Steeler wide receiver room. What helps, he carries a cap hit of only $15.8 million next season. That's super easy to stomach. Receivers contracts are getting super bloated, and there's a huge need as well, right? We need a number 2 in Pittsburgh. So message board call. Should the Steelers just go for it? Is Deebo Samuel the missing piece of this offense? Let's chop it up in the discussion board. If you don't think Deebo's the one, tell me who you think would be, and maybe I'll cover it in the future. So we're looking at kind of players with significant odds of actually getting moved. Deebo Samuel, he seems to be the top one along with Cooper Kupp. Days with the 49ers, they seemed at an end the second that Brandon Ayuk put pen to paper on his contract. I didn't think they would lay out that kind of money for him, but they did. So a possible trade option. Disappointing year with the 49ers, decimated by injuries as a team. It's not often that team's a dumpster fire, but yeah, San Francisco didn't look good last year. So what's it going to take to get Deebo Samuel to Pittsburgh? And ESPN's Nick Wagner, he had an interesting take on this. He actually believes that the price for Deebo Samuel is going to be way less than any of us thought. I was kind of shocked to hear this. And this is a direct quote from him. Because Samuel's coming off a down year and is entering the final year of his contract, other top receivers are also set to be available in free agency or trade. A day 3 draft pick, perhaps another late round pick thrown in, would probably satisfy the 49ers. And if there isn't much of a trade market, the Niners might have to settle for less unless they package picks with Samuel. I don't know about that, but what's coming out right now is that the 49ers are pretty concerned that Deebo is going to refuse the trades that they put together. He has a trade refusal clause in his contract. If he's going to play that game, the Niners might be forced to straight up release him. So that's a completely different story on what it would take for the Steelers to get him in Pittsburgh. Then you're talking about other wide receivers. I think like the leading wide receiver on the market that's at least comparable is LA Rams receiver Cooper Kupp, right? Might garner quite a bit more in trade compensation. But why lay out for a guy that's pretty much gassed, in my opinion? I think he's pretty much done. I would way rather have Deebo Samuel for the cheaper cost. And it's low enough, too. There's going to be a ton of competition for his services. I don't think they're going to be the only team that come bidding. Samuel is entering the final year of his contract. He is starting on the downswing of his career. I think there's tons of gas in the tank, and teams will be looking to add the multifaceted wideout at a bargain price, just like the Steelers. ESPN's Jeff Darlington, he had this to say: I don't anticipate that 49ers will get a lot for Samuel because he's also going to have to need to be extended. And it's pretty clear that the 49ers will have to cut him if they don't trade him. So they really don't hold much leverage here. And that's really an interesting point. And that's music to the Pittsburgh Steelers' ears if they actually want Deebo to come into town. So let's kind of talk about it too. Let's talk about need. I think the Steelers desperately need another productive receiver next to George Pickens. I mean, if you're talking about a fit with George Pickens, a really good compliment, I don't think there's few fits that are better than Samuel. And he really fits what Arthur Smith likes to do, a really kind of Swiss Army knife option. All of the things that he likes to do in his offense, a lot of misdirections, a lot of using the running back to actually as a receiver. This would be vice versa, using a receiver as a running back. His skill set just really, really fits with what Arthur Smith likes to do. It gives him an option close to the line of scrimmage, while Pickens, he does his outs. He runs his deeper routes. And I think Pickens, too, for all the flack he gets, he's one of the most explosive big play receivers in football. He just does it with a yak. He's not the kind of receiver that George Pickens is. Just a really good compliment between the two. And the way he plays, I mean, it just feels like he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. Being a Bears guy, he feels like he fits the Bears style. So I totally identify with the fit. The other thing, I think if you guys keep Justin Fields, I think Deebo fits really well. He pairs really well with Justin Fields. And imagine defending a play option with Justin Fields and Deebo Samuel on the field, and plus with Warren at running back. I think it could be a really nice fix. And if they don't bite, jet it down the field to George Pickens. It should be a lot of fun. I think, too, the front office, they've been fishing for wide receiver upgrades quite a while. The Mike Williams trade never really panned out, right? Omar Khan, he's not really known for his aggression, but with Samuel available for next to nothing, the Steelers, unburdened by a significant quarterback contract, I think they should push to get that fixed, because that's going to be a selling point for Deebo to come to Pittsburgh. He very well, if the Pittsburgh Steelers do not have a quarterback in place, that might be the reason that Deebo refuses the trade, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers have to bid on him in the open market, and that might be distasteful to Khan, even with about $53 million in cap space coming into the season. So they're running it back with Justin Fields, in my opinion. There's some flirtation with Aaron Rodgers. There's also some rumors that they've tried to trade for Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if I fully believe that, but man, adding a second impact wide receiver like Deebo Samuel opposite of George Pickens would really open up Smith's playbook, and I think you'd have a way more dynamic offense. Let's kind of look at him a little bit as a player. Notched 42 carries for 136 yards and a touchdown across 15 games last season. Just a really off year for him, but that whole team was off. He lines up at wide or in the slot. Super, super productive at both spots. He can produce on designed runs out of the backfield. The Steelers' run game, they need more juice, and maybe the secret isn't getting the right running back. Maybe it's just adding this extra ingredient to the pot. Once again, I think there's going to be competition for his services. I think he is a perfect fit, not only for the Steelers scheme, but also for the team's style, the team's history, Arthur Smith, what he likes to do dynamically in the offense. And I think it's just a win-win for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. I will interact with you. I thank you for being here, and let's grow this channel. See ya.